Good day, everyone. Welcome to another edition of this very important program, Eye on the Ball, aimed at critically analyzing what is happening in Osun political atmosphere, most especially what the politicians, the candidates are telling the masses. What are they telling the electorate? Is it about policies? Is it about issues? Or is it about attacks and attacks? Those are the things we have been analyzing. We did one the first time last week, and this week now, we want to see what has happened between May 11 and May 19, yes, when the APC had their rally in Ile-Ife. You know, you saw this video of Senator Ademola Adeleke, where he said that he has money and some other things. That one generated a lot of reaction to the extent that even the party, the PDP, most especially the campaign organization of Ademola Adeleke, also reacted, where they are saying that what Ademola Adeleke said was a reaction to some insinuations that have been made on social media. And, you know, after that, the governor also made some statements when he visited Ile-Ife during his flag off for the election campaign. Those are the things we are going to be discussing. Also, we look at other political parties. You remember that even last week, Right Honorable Lasun Yusuf, the candidate of the Labour Party, raised alarm that his life is under threat. He said his life is under serious attack. That is his word. And also, the APM, the YPP, what are they really saying? What are they telling the electorates in Osun? Those are the things we will be discussing today. And you know, this is a partnership program between Insight Multilinks Media and Positive Agenda Nigeria. My name is Jare Tiamiyu. Stay tuned and let us go to the other side of the studio where we'll meet with Dr. Rasheed Adebiyi, who will be analyzing what they have been able to gather in their organization. But before we go there, we'll play these two videos for you because that is where we are going to be starting our discussion. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Experiment more. And the other people doctors who call copy and also that on see
Welcome back from that. And my analyst is here, Dr. Rasheed Adebiyi. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us again.
My pleasure always.
Hey guys, let's start from that video that we just seen. Senator Ademola Adeleke, during that the period we are referring, said when he was talking, I don't want to start from what he said, but he's saying that this time is going to be fire for fire. If it is money, he has money, and if not just naira, he has pounds, he has dollars, he has euro. Well, you know, and he said it as a mega rally for Osun Central. What do you see to that?
Well, it is one of those things that actually did not make Osun campaign environment atmosphere very sane in the previous week that we have examined. The fact that the issue of vote buying came in at this point is something condemnable. And you can see that it generated a lot of uproar on social media, elsewhere, even some mainstream media also focused on what the candidates said. I want to advise the anglers of Ademola Adeleke to guide him appropriately. It's one of the major parties, it's one of the two parties. I said it the last time, that in Nigeria it is established that people can get their political ambitions realized through the established vehicles. Yes, that does not leave out it doesn't leave out space for surprise here and there, but it's been proven over the years for now that the state seems to be a two-party state. And so if one of the major candidates was caught on tape talking about buying votes, using money to induce voters, it was a very wrong step. Vote buying is one of the concepts that has been condemned in our elections, and it doesn't make sense that it's coming up now.
But what of when he said, after that, we had another statement from his media committee where they said that what he said was just a reaction to some of those insinuations that they have seen on social media.
Well, my advice is, no matter what the insinuations are, nobody should come out in public to say, I have money kept aside for elections. It doesn't make any campaign sense. It doesn't make any strategic sense. It rather opens him up to criticism and attacks here and there, verbal attacks, and we've seen that in the outgone week, where people began to talk about, oh, is this what to do? Yes, vote buying is not strange to our electoral system, to be candid. We understand that in the last couple of elections we have had in Nigeria, non-governmental organizations, INEC and monitors have had to say that yes, politicians were trying to induce voters from people, but it shouldn't come out in public in a public rally to actually say that. So that's why we say, even in our report, we said it is condemnable. We don't want that to come up now. At this point, what we want to be featured in the campaign environment are issues, are policies, are programs that the candidates have for the people of the state, so that they can be guided to make the right choice. Inducement will not lead us to anywhere.
Okay, before we actually go into how you are able, the data you are able to gather, especially as far as issues are concerned, I would like us to also talk about this. On Friday, Right Honorable Osun State, the candidate of the Labour Party, former Deputy Speaker of House of Representatives, raised alarm that his life is under a very serious, let me put it that way, that's how he said it, a serious danger. He even said his campaign office was attacked on the eve of Thursday to Friday. So, and when he was talking, he said something that the political opponents are bringing in thuggery into the political atmosphere. What will you say to that? That is very critical.
Yes, it is. It is, especially it concerns threats to life. No matter what it is, election should not be a do or die affair thing. The candidates are putting themselves up to serve the people, and if truly it's about serving people, nobody's life is worth being threatened. And so, if the statement made by Honorable Osun State, who is the governorship candidate for Labour Party, is actually through, I want to enjoin security outfits to actually investigate and see how they can secure his life. Threats to life is not something that we should take lightly. And as a matter of fact, attacking the one of the candidates' campaign office is not something that should be welcome. It's something that we should guide against. What is important, as we are saying, is that the campaign atmosphere, the campaign environment should be kept sane, such that people will be able to go out, vote, and pick the right candidate come July 16, 2022.
Okay, let's now look at it from this other side, which is, let's look at the issues. You said the other time that we had a lot of attacks during the previous episode.
Yes.
Now, this week that we are reviewing now, after the statement of Senator Ademola Adeleke, it was let me say, a mirage of attack against him. Several people were attacking him, the IPAC condemned him, the APC attacked him. Even after attacking him via a statement, the governor also went ahead in Ile-Ife to attack him. Several party members have also gone ahead to attack him.
Yeah, they responded to
the
statement.
Yes. And then he also defended himself by other statement. What is the percentage of the attack compared to? Did we have it on the high side or it's lower?
Surprisingly, because we are looking at the major political actors, especially the candidates, the parties and their supporters, surprisingly, the environment seemed saner than what we had in week one. For instance, we had a reduction in attacks.
Okay.
In week 1, we had 55% of attacks. In week 2, we had 45, a 10% reduction. For acclaims, it went higher. In week 2, we had 67%, where we had 33% in week 1. And you know that our focus is on the acclaims, the capability, the competence, what we have to do, what are the programs, what are the issues, what are the policies that you are bringing on board when you eventually come in. And so it's commendable that we had an increment in our claims. And of course in the defenses too, we had some increment. Last week we had 39%, now we had 61%. And it's understandable, especially when you look at the scenario where Senator Ademola Adeleke brought in the issue of I have the capacity to buy vote and to go to the fast money. So, but despite that, despite the statements here and there, in terms of the campaign strategies, there was a slight improvement, and we commend that. We want political parties, we want their supporters to play by the rules, to state what they have for the people, to tell us what their programs are. In terms of the campaign policies or issues, yes. That came out, we had engagement of issues more this week than we had last week. Even though others that you cannot really categorize also form 64% of the campaign issues that we had. But we had social programs, economy, agriculture, worker salary, welfare and employment, infrastructure, security, education, and health, featuring more in the campaigns of the political parties. Mind you, we are not looking only at the physical rallies. We are also looking at what people are talking about on social media, what are the supporters talking about on parties' social media handles, on candidates' social media handles, what are they talking about in their jingles. So all of these are what we actually combine. And so for social programs, we had 58% of discussion around that, whereas we had 42% last week. The same thing with economy, 63% this week, 38% last week. Agriculture had 50-50 for last week and this week. Worker salary, welfare and employment had 52% this week, whereas last week we had 14%. Infrastructure, the same thing.
I think our viewers will be able to see that one on the screen.
Yes.
I would like us to see, finally, before we go, we can see that there is this much ado, much emphasis on the issue of worker salary, pension, and everything.
Yes.
Do you think it is early for the political? We have to look at what if we are talking about worker salary. These are recurrent issues.
Yes.
These are not developments per se. Do you think these politicians are actually discussing development?
Yeah, well, in a way, they have to discuss the issues, whether development or not. Every politician wants to talk about an issue that's going to lead him to the government house come July 16. So worker salary, pensions have been issues that have been recurring. And since they have to do with unions, they have to do with people, they will come up. Because in a way, it also has some impact on the economy. Still, up until now, people still talk about Osun being a civil service state. And so, there is no way people will not begin to talk about some of these issues. The worker salary.
What about the issues around
and all of that?
Infrastructures? If you look at it, virtually every local government has less than, let me say, about 60% of the road networks are not in good condition. Even though this present government is saying they are doing their best, but if you still go down, then you realize that if not 50, if not 60, it will be about 50% of the roads.
Yes.
So what about those ones?
Yes, infrastructure too is important, and I think it's featured in what they say. But majorly, because of their potential to attract the people's attention,
the emotion
worker
of
salary, pension, and all of that. Every every candidate that is contesting for this election understands that navigating the workers' salary issue
is an emotional area.
So you have to be tactical.
You want to appeal.
You have to be more strategic in discussing some of these issues. So that's why it is coming on. But as we talked about infrastructure, I also want us to also look at, because we've considered the campaign strategies, we've looked at the issues. What about the media used for campaign, which we also talked about here? As we said, our approach is to look at what the politicians are saying on the mainstream media, on online media, on social media, and what have you. Our team discovered that politicians used all this media, but the one that they leverage on to attack is the social media, and it's understandable because it has less regulatory mechanism. For instance, there is a limit to what you can say in your jingle that's going to be played on radio. There is a limit to what you can put on your banner that's going to be on the billboard. There's a limit to what you can say on your poster and what have you. But social media seems to give that opportunity for you to say all sorts with little or no regulation, and so we actually condemn this. We also discovered that in the course of the campaigns, especially the jingles, core issues are discussed in their jingles used on radio, and we commend that because radio is a grassroots medium, and people who are the grassroots, we have access to what the candidates are saying, and will be able to make the right decisions in combination with other factors, and so we commended that. So our verdict for this week is that yes, we had a slight improvement in the campaign activity for last week. It was better than our first week, which we think is okay. And we are appealing to all political stakeholders, parties, candidates, their supporters, to please stay within the ambit of what is acceptable, the ambit of what the rule and the law says, so that we can have a free, fair, sane campaign, which we believe will lead to a sane election. We also acknowledge the fact that politicians are not engaging in physical attacks, except for the for the statement that he made. Fairly, they've had open campaigns without any rancor, without any clash, and all of that. And we want them to keep.
I think we should also give some kudos to the police authority in the state, because
of course
the commissioner of police personally led operation at Ife during that of flag off of APC, and also during that of PDP.
Yes.
He was seen virtually moving up and down in the city of Osun.
Of course, the police, the NSCDC, and other security outfits. Yes, of course. But then we should also commend the politicians, because
they know how to respond to even the police effort. That's for you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rashid Adebiyi. And on that note, we want to say, let me say that we'll continue to see how saner our environment is, most especially as we move deeper into the campaign. Realize that the APC just flagged up their campaign last week, and then this week now is going to be a very, very busy week for the parties. Or even all the parties, the YPP will also be having their rally sometimes this week. We look forward to all those just stay tuned, just relax. We'll bring them to you wherever you might be, just to let you know that we are monitoring what is happening in Osun State, and we believe that we will have a better and saner election and saner environment, as Dr. Adebiyi is just said. And that's our episode for today. Thank you for being part of it. It's another time when I come your way, when we bring another analysis to your table again. My name is Jaire Tiamiyu. Have a blessed day. Bye for now.